It's been a repeatedly unanswered question as to why the same government that accused R. Kelly for allegedly sleeping with underage girls would also at the same time deny him the right to do this with grown adults, citing the fact that many of the government witnesses who were brought to court to pin him down eventually turned out to have been way above the age of 18. Even when the government chose to claim 17 years as a threshold for adulthood in Illinois is only limited to cases filed in the state courts and not the federal justice system, such that they could push R. Kelly into a corner where he is answerable, and also made sure to connive with the city mayor to neutralize the statute of limitations for this particular type of case that was only removed when R. Kelly was already at the MCC. To the government's disappointment, all their undercover adult accusers were eventually exposed. An example being Lisa Van Allen, who in her life forgot to do the simple math that makes her 18 years old while she attended the launch of the Home Alone video shoot where R. Kelly was, the day she claims the two met for the first time. It was surprising to learn that she too wanted a piece of the pie called restitutions until she got busted by R. Kelly's vigilant private investigators. Even after this, because of the usual government impunity shown in handling this case, they were still determined to use her as a tool for destruction when she was forced to unwillingly testify in the Chicago court, with the hope of using her falsehoods to find R. Kelly and his co-accused guilty of obstruction of justice. Thankfully God intervened and the truth did prevail. R. Kelly and the two co-accused were all found not guilty of justice obstruction, ruining the government's only opportunity of justifying their alleged enterprise in the New York court. The other example who is the subject matter of this video release being a one Faith Rogers, who was clearly 19 years old when she met R. Kelly. According to Faith Rogers' testimony, she met R. Kelly in March of 2017 when she attended a concert in San Antonio, Texas, and this makes her 19 years of age at the time, 1 year above the age of consent according to the same federal government accusing R. Kelly. Her testimony suggests that she and her sister were then invited to an after-party where she met the defendant and he gave her his phone number. Faith and defendant began texting each other regularly and the two met with each other on 5 occasions, having sex on each encounter. According to the trial transcript, the defendant, who is R. Kelly, invited the adult woman Faith Rogers to New York 2 times where they again had sex on each occasion. It sounds like the 19-year-old was enjoying this new arrangement until that one time she says she traveled to Los Angeles in January of 2018 again to have sex with his newfound love, but this time round found a gun placed on the table in his studio, which according to her was so unnerving. And on this occasion only performed oral contact, for which she is holding R. Kelly accountable. According to government, irrespective of the fact that Faith Rogers, who was seemingly enjoying his newfound sexual relationship, had made it a hobby to meet him in various states and have sexual encounters with him each time they met, she should be charging him for alleged forced labor for this one occasion simply because this time round, a gun had been placed on the table. Meanwhile, nowhere in the witness testimony according to the trial transcript does it say that R. Kelly tried to threaten her with this gun or anything of the sort. Neither does it say that at any of these encounters defendant ever conditioned Faith Rogers, suggesting if she didn't do it with him, he would do anything undesirable to her. The statement of the transcript, if interpreted by a neutral person without bias, would only serve to reveal that indeed Faith Rogers was only an adult 19-year-old groupie, and one that followed R. Kelly from place to place for sexual escapades. There is no way to rule out that this was not her usual behavior, considering she was not with defendant at all times, and could have been doing this with several other artists or celebrities. But this malicious government did not hesitate to try and use her account to further defame R. Kelly to make him look like the monster he has never been, all intended to win a 30-year indirect life sentence in court against him. First and foremost, in this country where gun ownership is acceptable by law, the presence of a gun on a table in a private studio residence is not illegal. The fact that it was not pointed at her at any one point by defendant and coupled with making demands like "do this or this will happen to you" makes the charge of forced labor not only inappropriate but also far-fetched. And this only serves to show how much the government was willing to stoop low as a way to frame R. Kelly for any charge they possibly could. Jennifer Bonjean's submission is also helping to give people who previously didn't know what the trial transcript said the necessary information to understand the conspiracy behind all these false accusations against R. Kelly. In fact, many who have read her submission are wondering and asking which judge would prevail over such a case, and still manage to find the defendant guilty on all such counts where 19-year-olds are accusing R. Kelly over such claims of a gun placed on a table. It's a shame on Judge Ann Donnelly to see how much she participated in the takedown of an innocent man who was only living his life, and spending his money on ungrateful groupies now being used against him. Faith Rogers clearly has no case against the R&B king, and adding her to the list of alleged victims was a wrong move by government that weakens their case further. Meanwhile, we are still questioning the assumption that acts of oral contact in this case are equivalent to forced labor. It all sounds like these women were out there to work for a pay and it makes them look bad. According to Anita Anderson, all of those bad brains were there by choice, some even trafficked by their own parents, and they all stayed by choice. Why they are now choosing to blame their decisions on R. Kelly is just so wrong. Thankfully, attorney Jennifer Bonjean is putting in the work to expose all of them and make R. Kelly a free man again. They are all finally being exposed for exactly who they are. According to Big Mama, I have been watching all updates about this case here on HN News, and it just goes to show that indeed the devil comes in many forms. These people have haunted R. Kelly for years, but now we know that they were only with him for the money and nothing else. When Judgment Day comes for them, hope they will feel the fame they have got from all their bad deeds to R. Kelly was worth it. According to Naveen, it's funny how the same government which is castigating R. Kelly claiming he was with underage girls is doing the very same thing for adults like Faith Rogers. Just what do they want R. Kelly to do? If he cannot be with adults like every other man, is the government to say he is a unique being that does not deserve to be with a woman? This is just way too much of lifestyle standards to demand from a fellow human being, and a fellow citizen of this country. Thank you for watching LFN News, a production of LFN Media, giving you another view of issues at hand. To get notified whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. And remember to give us your comment on the subject matter below.
Y'all better listen to this shit. Y'all better listen to this shit. This is a musical bass right here.